Hey, what's up, guys? It's Richard Metal Fan here. Another day here in quarantine, and I'm gonna bring you guys an old school album review. No, nothing really anniversaries and stuff. I just figured I wanted to try to do some different new videos or try to like keep the channel flowing since we're gonna be in quarantine for a while. But anyway, bring you guys an old school album review, and this album is turning 50 years old this year. Well, it's September, but I figured I'll just cover it now. I just needed to do some videos, but as you can see by the title, I'm gonna be reviewing Paranoid by Black Sabbath, the band's second album released on September 18th, 1970 through Warner Brothers Music. Now, of course, this is the band, like I said, the band's second album, the follow-up to the best, probably the album that gave birth to the best genre ever, heavy metal, their self-titled debut album. And almost not even like a few months after the album was released, and they pretty much kept it off, they actually went in the studio, and we're working on a second album. And this album actually took only 4 days to record in June of 1970, and then a few months later we were birthed with Paranoid, the second album. And what can I say? Comparing Paranoid to like the first Sabbath album, you could definitely tell there's a little bit of progression. I feel like the band is pretty much more confident and more comfortable with their playing musicianship and the songwriting and everything here. Vocally, Ozzy Osbourne just sounds really comfortable here. Like, I definitely feel like he's a lot more comfortable singing, and especially doing like different stuff vocally, like they're experimenting with different like low notes, high notes, and all that stuff. Guitar wise, Tony Iommi is a god. There's no denying that. Like, just like the riffs he comes up with is just great because he's the fucking riff god. What can I say? Bass wise, Geezer Butler. I feel like this album from Paranoid, his bass playing just really shines on some of these songs. And drumming wise, the Bill Ward is just a beast on the drums. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is War Pigs. It's just, wow, what can I say that pretty much explains this 7.5 minute epic, starting things off with a bang. It's pretty much lyrically, it's like a protest to war, and this song has got some very creative, maniacal lyrics that are used, such as metaphors such as war pigs to describe the government. And the intro is pretty damn good. It's just some straightforward guitar riffs and some of the great counter melody bass lines from Geezer, and the verses have some of the coolest, simplest two-chord verses ever with such an attack, and it really adds to the song. And the drumming pretty much rocks in this song with some like fast fills like during the verses, and the solo is pretty cool too. A great way to start off this album, starting things off on an epic high note. And then next song is the title track, Paranoid, and I've heard from other sources and interviews and stuff that was originally meant to be like a filler, which I never even knew that, and I don't really consider none of these songs are filler, or it's just all killer, no filler. But the title track itself has become one of their most famous songs ever. Just like from that opening riff, that very catchy, and it's like a 2.5 minute song about a depressed man who can't seem to be happy. And the intro riff is just 5 notes, and it's just very catchy song. And the verses are really great, and the lyrics are good, and the guitar solo is just pretty entertaining though. They were just one of the best Sabbath songs I've ever heard. Next song on here is Planet Caravan, and this is pretty much a kind of a change of pace for the album. I feel like Bill kind of sets on his sticks here to play sort of like a repetitive bongo line when Geezer plays sort of like beautiful bass line that could be more perfect for the song, and also has a little bit of like very eerie guitar work, and Ozzy kind of sounds a bit lower on this one, and it just sounds very eerie sounding. And the rhythm does not change one bit during the song. It's easy to listen to, and it doesn't get old. And Tony comes up with a really kind of like jazzy like solo, and you get to definitely tell that these guys have played a peaceful song, and it makes it good. Next song on here is Iron Man, and who hasn't heard of this song, which has the most famous metal riff of all time, and the intro is just purely interface with just starting off with a bass drum part from Bill, and then just Tony just coming in with the and Ozzy just singing I am Iron Man. And Ozzy just really shines here, just wailing about a man seeking revenge on the people that he tried to help but they don't notice him. It's a pretty kind of like a gory version of Frankenstein. The guitar gets so much recognition on this song, and nobody realizes how tight the bass is on here. And every note of the guitar solo, the bass is also playing note from note as the bass dumps so long in that awesome solo. And the outro is cool, just a 1 note bass line and just another cool eerie riff. Awesome song. Next song on the album is called Electric Funeral, and it's a good song. song, and the guitarist is pretty cool, using sort of like a wah pedal to its fullest that gives like the scream that is the song calls for. And Ozzy's voice just scares the hell out of me here. It just sounds like a creepy rant for what appears to be the apocalypse, which is kind of like how we're feeling right now. You know, talking about like robots controlling the lives and stuff. It's a very cool song. Next song is Hand of Doom, which is an awesome song. The bass riff on here is pretty cool, with one of those creeping up on you kind of feelings until like the guitar comes roaring in. And the song sort of like uses its dynamics very well, and the lyrics are kind of like about drug addiction, and the choruses are very powerful, and the bridge just screams with power, and the riff is just crunching and is faster than the chorus riff. Cool good little solo, and it's so good that I can listen to it straight for an hour. Rat Salad, which is, I feel like kind of reminds me as like I feel like it's their like answers to like Led Zeppelin's Moby Dick. A cool hard rocking song with some heavy riffs situated at fast, awesome drum solo, and Bill Ward can write some awesome drum parts using like the snare, toms, and bass perfectly. And not a lot of cymbal work, but definitely one of the coolest drum solos without being over flashy. Great song. And next, then the album closes with Fairies Wear Boots. And how, oh my man, how high can you count? And this is definitely the centerpiece of this album, being one of the greatest songs ever. The intro just kind of starts kind of like mellow and turns into a world of riffs, similar to like how the album started with War Pigs. And the bass has an awesome role with sort of like counter melodies that are just used in the context just very beautifully. And the riffs just rock, and it adds like personality to the song. And the lyrics are pretty cool about like tripping and some wild hallucinations. Is pretty much what Sabbath were in the 70s. And the guitar solos are awesome, and the drums put in some crazy fills during the pre-chorus, and it's just a no better than closing this album easily. Now overall, Paranoid is like their self-titled debut album. This is a great album, like probably my favorite Black Sabbath album. It's like tied between that and the first album. Yeah, I know first two albums are the best, but pretty much most of the 70s Sabbath is just great. There's no denying that. So if I had to give this album a score, I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Paranoid by Black Sabbath, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.